You already know what it is. We are back. What's the podcast? Episode 254, aka Meet the Podcast. Because man, what a weekend! Shout out to my guy, all available. Hashtag Streetwear Eddie.
What up, fellas?
Shout out to Don't Charge Abdul.
Man, chopping blades. We here, baby.
Chopping Blades was a banger. Chopping Blades was a banger. I suggest you listen to Chopping Blades wherever you can. Shout out to DJ Raj for joining the team. You know what I'm saying? He jumped on the Patreon. So
he did. I missed him. Or he was on chopping blades.
No. He became.
Oh, I see. Sorry,
Jerome. You gotta get it. You should get him on chopping blades. That'd be a nice little look.
Yeah.
So we've talked about it.
Okay. All right.
So dude's an early morning Sunday golfer though, so I think I don't want to mess up his tee time. So,
all right.
But yeah, Patreon.com/What's the Podcast. We have to stress Patreon.com/What's the Podcast because I listened to the Clark Kent interview on Road Podcast today, and
how was it?
I only heard the first 10 minutes, but
I got it queued up.
But all you hear at the beginning is Patreon.com/Road Podcast.
Oh, it's not on Apple Music. This
was the last one that they did. That's not a Patreon exclusive.
Okay, all right.
I believe everything else moving forward is going to be just Patreon's going to be involved, not necessarily exclusives, but Patreon will be involved. So
okay.
But shout out to those guys for doing their thing. Patreon.com/What's the Podcast is what we're on. I see that the more that we promote and push that, we get a good response. Shout out to everybody who took part in the chat. Our Patreon chat is a nice place for conversation. If you find yourself just needing to talk to some randoms, you know what I'm saying? We some good convo in there, man. Shout out to the homies that have tapped in.
And we should shout out the what's that thing I did? The other joint? Discord. We're on the Discord, baby.
Yeah, so the link to the Discord will be beneath so that you can join if you're a Discorder. Some people are Discord, some people want to be in the chat. Abdul's gonna update that.
Yeah, man, let's get it popping.
Proper link.
Let's live in 2025,
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously we all had a weekend. That was the soundtrack of the weekend, so to speak, if you will, if you must. Oh boy, is man. I mean, Kendrick Lamar. There's not really a lot else that you can say about
the
soundtrack of a weekend. I believe it was the most streamed song ever in Spotify or something like that for his opening weekend or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if obviously the beef went. The beef is dead. The beef is over.
It's over. You think it's over?
It's over.
I don't think it's over.
Yeah. No, it has to be over.
I think Drake kind of conceded with the last one. I mean, it was a very defensive song. It was just kind of explaining himself and justifying what he's heard in Kendrick's bars. It was nothing in attack mode. It was just sort of like, yo, I'm on the ropes right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it might be over. I think it might be over.
I don't think so.
The clear winner in this is Kendrick.
I don't think anybody else wants to hear anything else. It ran its course perfectly. I believe that it ended perfectly because you now have a club banger, right? And I think that it started to teeter amongst disrespectful. That was the way it was not a good look. It wasn't fun and games anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why it's over. I've heard of some, I've also heard it was over because some of the higher execs in the music and in some of these places where Drake has
corporate sponsors,
and now some things like that. They don't want him to represent their company with this belief that he would be a pedophile out there. And so,
I mean, part of me kind of hopes that he goes even further and says some other shit, and then they end up taking him off as a partner. Oof, that would be the ultimate. When the bag gets involved and you lose it,
But I think
That's a big
I
loss.
don't think he can lose his bag, dog.
No, I think he can definitely. Anybody can.
Of
lose
course
it.
he can.
Anybody can lose.
He lose the bag, but he still got the bag.
Yeah, but he can still lose the incoming bag.
He can
I
lose
think
future
sure.
income.
At this point, it's over because that exactly. These people still want to utilize him as a tool to sell things. You saw how much or how lack of support he actually got from his quote unquote friends. Think of all the people Drake's made albums with, all the people he's made songs with. Nobody came to his defense.
Bro,
right?
I was actually.
I mean, nobody came to Kendrick's defense.
He proved that he didn't need to.
No, for sure.
I think people came to Kendrick's defense. You saw Mustard made sure his name was heard on the beginning of the song.
That's every Mustard song.
Yeah, but that's just a beat. Like,
I know, but still, that's like making it clear that y'all know where I'm at.
I mean, they're all from Cali.
It doesn't matter. He's still on his side. But, you also have Future and Metro. Sure, they bowed out later on in the battle, but it all kind of went crazy on their projects. You know what I'm saying? So, but I did. There is, I mean, I don't know what Drake's current situation is, but I watched the video of him kissing the 17-year-old on stage. I don't know if y'all have seen that. Sure, it looked like it was from a long time ago. I couldn't even tell if he actually had facial hair in it. I think he might have had it, but I don't know if you've seen this video, but he's on his show. It looks like he's having a concert somewhere, and the girl is on stage, and he wraps his arms around her, standing behind her, and kisses her on the neck. And while he's kind of caressing her, and then he's like, "Oh man, you getting me started." He's like, "How old are you?" And she goes, 17. And he goes, "Oh shit. Oh no, I'm gonna get in trouble, this, that, and the other." And then he kisses her again. He holds her head, kisses her on both her cheeks, her forehead, and then on her mouth. Then this mixed with, it's wild. It's hard to watch, especially after.
How old is he?
So it doesn't matter. He's already Drake at this point.
It was 14 years ago.
So how old is he?
22?
Yeah, 22, 23.
Okay.
Yeah, 22, 23.
Still too old.
Way too old. Yeah.
But if she's 17, he's 22. I don't know, dog. There's 22-year-old dudes out there fucking with 17-year-old girls. Believe that.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying it's illegal, and it's
might
creepy.
not be illegal.
We look at them that it's creepy and nasty.
It's definitely
when they do
unethical, but I don't know if it's illegal.
Well, the age of consent is 16, I believe, in Canada. However,
and DC too.
I don't know where this show necessarily took place.
Yeah.
So either way though, when he made that comment, he knew what he was talking about.
Right.
Yeah. So that mixed with text messages that have come up between him and what's Shorty's name from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby or something like that. Millie Bobby, whatever her name is, but in it, he's expressing how he misses her, and they're talking, and with a 14-year-old, and that is more recent. He's well in his 30s when this is happening. So, I mean, listen, I'm not saying I know what his status is when it comes to pedophilia, but it's very sickening that a grown man can find anything in common with a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, even a 17-year-old. And that's nasty behavior, bro. It's gross and it's nasty.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was shocked at myself for not knowing that, because whatever, the crisis management team he was talking about, Kendrick pulled out, he definitely had them sweep all of this shit under the rug, because I didn't know anything about it. I mean, there's still videos out there and people are talking about it, but he was able to manipulate algorithms and all this shit so that it wasn't appearing on a lot of people's radar, including mine.
Well, I mean, I think the thing about it though is there were so many high-profile commentators, that people just whether you couldn't see it or not, you heard about it.
Yeah.
Right. Like Academics, he's a high profile commentator.
What was he saying?
He's a Drake. He was a Drake fan. Right.
He is a Drake fan.
Yeah. He's like Drake. Like Drake broke one of the records through Academics. I forget which one it was.
Saying Drake won this beef.
He started that way. Towards the end, he wasn't as clear cut.
Oh, okay, all right.
But I think he wants to remain friends with Drake. So I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But between Academics, Joe Budden and them got off a bunch of points. They really won this and tried to. It almost helped make themselves look like a respectable podcast. Old Man Ebro was on it heavy. Elliot Wilson was on it heavy, and the person who actually played himself the most was the dude Maul from New Rory and Maul. He played himself terribly. He
still thinks Drake won it.
Call him OVO Maul and everything. Like it's bad. It's bad. If you watch it, like he pretty much screamed for the entire episode defending Drake.
Yeah, that dude has always been a sucker to me, and he's the reason why I stopped listening to that podcast over a year and a half, 2 years ago.
It makes sense.
He's a clown.
And if you see it, I mean, if you just read one of the captions on Twitter and then happen to just look at, it's disgusting. So,
in addition to those two instances, I also forgot there's been other videos and things, reports about Drake, dating an 18-year-old model. And sure, she's 18, but, she could have turned 18 the day before they went out on a date, which is still nasty. You know what I mean? So, I mean, listen, man, there's reports out there. I'm not saying that I know exactly what's going on, but it's nasty work. Either way you look at it, or how you cut it, how you slice it, how you dice it. It's grossness happening.
I mean, I know me personally, I was a little less concerned about what Drake would do and say. I was very much interested in Kendrick's angle and all of this, and it was very cerebral, in my opinion. It was very like you had to go back and read some of his lyrics 2, 3, 4 times.
Kendrick's?
Yeah, Kendrick.
Oh, you had to listen. I had to listen to every song like 10 times.
Exactly, and then to me, to end his side of things with a club banger, like, it's just a perfect.
Yeah, he celebrated it. He celebrated his win.
It was a perfect storm. It was a perfect attack. It was the perfect, just way to say,
and it's a banger. You played it out.
Banger.
Yeah, he gave a master class on strategy and execution within this rap plateau. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the way he attacked Drake was it was even if the things he's saying are not true, they stick. And I think that's part of what you want in a battle like this. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to leave some sort of message behind that, even if the shit is not true, motherfuckers
you still have people
remember
thinking.
it.
You have people thinking about it.
Listen, and none of the stuff he said was actually new stuff. It's just stuff that's just kind of been lingering out there in the world, and he just took it and packaged it and said it in a very clever way. And
but that's part of
that's part of the skills.
And I think the Atlanta reference was incredible. You know what I'm saying? I thought
was the Atlanta reference? I might have missed it.
He was just like, you run to Atlanta he was
right
with the whole free the slaves thing, and
talk
about
yep.
I'm just like, yo, that was a very just kind of like, dude, in the middle of a club banger, you give a history lesson, right? And then you follow that up with a chant saying "OV ho," like that's incredible. You know what I'm saying? So, we're not going to see anything like this anytime soon. I think it also helped expose who listens to pop and who listens to hip hop. Right, because people were saying, "Yo, this is the greatest battle ever," and I'm like, "That's cool, I respect that." And a lot of Drake fans are like, "I mean, when is this thing gonna be over?" Yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? But like, some of the people commenting, it was again, Abdul says, a masterclass, and I don't think we're gonna see anything like this anytime soon.
People still fucking with Drake though. No one's not a Drake fan.
100%. Yeah, but I saw that Not Like Us in person. at Park on Sunday.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, listen.
Yeah, but y'all could have played. They could have played a Drake song, like 3 songs.
I played a bunch of Drake songs.
And they weren't fucking with it.
They was cool with them. They were good, but I mean, like, they was like, yo, let's run a Drake and let's go back to back. I was like, you can't be serious right now.
Yeah.
And Push Ups did okay. You know, they both had joints that were okay with that. Once that Not Like Us came on though.
Yeah. You saw what they did to the OVO store in London?
No.
I think they sprayed not Like Us on the window in the front, big window.
It's terrible.
I mean, that coupled with the shooting at Drake's crib, outside of his crib, where his one of his security guards got hit. What do you guys think about that? Like
it was funny. The woman the daughter of the owner of New Ho King said they've never had a better weekend than this past weekend.
Of course, they were featured in the video.
She was on
her
TikTok.
dad was in the video, right? With Pharrell's jewelry on.
She's on TikTok like, this has been our best weekend ever. You know, like we've just been so busy. People stopping by, taking pictures. I was like, she's like, hey,
good for them.
So if you're in Toronto, come past New Ho King.
I love it.
I was like, yo, this is amazing.
I love it. I had a theory about this shooting outside of Drake's house. I think he set it up. I think this has nothing to do with.
You think he had his bodyguard, one of his security shot?
I think it maybe something went wrong somewhere. I think this is all of a ploy to.
He got too many cameras on his house to do that shit himself.
No, I don't mean he was physically out there shooting. I just mean that I think this was sort of a narrative which kind of supports some of the things he's been saying about being a tough guy. And I think, and it also, this type of shit, this is Toronto we're talking about, dog.
Yeah.
This is Toronto, Crody.
They don't even have guns there.
They don't even do shit like that. Yeah. Nothing wild happens in Toronto, fam.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Toronto.
I'm sure there's spots that get lit, but I mean, like,
Toronto.
Not where he lives. If you have
lives in this
30,000 square foot house,
bro. I just watched $1 Million Homes Toronto. I just watched the whole season of that shit. Where he lives is like 40 minutes away from Toronto.
Right.
It's not even right there.
He has to live 40 minutes away, right? He has too much money to live close, right?
Well, and also he lives in a very rich area. Like I think shots might have been supposed to have happened. And I think in the process, hit. I know I'm saying in the process, something went wrong and somebody got hit. I think the investigation is going to show something along those lines. I think Drake might have been behind something like this. Like,
I think that Drake's camp was behind the shooting at OVO, XO Cash's house, and this is retaliation.
Who's XO Cash? I don't even know.
Is that his name, Ron? XO Cash.
Yeah, that's the Weeknd's manager.
Oh, that's the guy he said was a drug dealer or is a drug abuser and high all the time
and spending all the Weeknd's money.
Yeah. Oh, so somebody shot his crib up?
Same thing. I think one of his securities got shot in front of his house in LA, and now the same thing happened at Drake's house.
I don't know.
I mean, the main thing I think, it kind of goes back to what Abdul said is, we have all listened to rap music for 30, 40 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Is, that tough guy talk will come back to get you at some point.
Yeah.
Right? And whether it physically happens or whether you just get masterfully taken apart on the microphone. The tough guy talk is you have to be very careful with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it has this way of finding its way back to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's very few people who have been able to successfully avoid, like repercussions from it. And Drake, I think, has tried to use that angle for whatever reason. I think Kendrick made a point. I like the melodic Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like.
True.
This is where you found most of your success, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't somebody who I think, needed to go down that route, but he found some success, and now he's gonna be in a weird space. And so we'll see what happens with both of these guys.
Yeah.
Kendrick may fall back into the Shadows again, right? I think
That's cool. He did his thing.
That, there's this dude was doing push-ups and burpees in the schoolyard to 70s R&B music, right? We all went to school with a kid like that. Like that kid sat at the lunch table by himself, and you left him alone for a reason, right? He sat outside on the patio all day long, right? Weight bench. You know what I'm saying? Nike just put the Cortez back out, right? The Forrest Gump joint.
It's true. The Forrest Gump joints.
Those are universal in places that people like Kendrick are from, associate with, right?
Yeah.
They got red and blue on them. Nobody cares. And
them joints cracking in Mesa also.
Oh my goodness, what the essays go crazy. Those have been popular for.
I don't think I've ever owned a pair of Cortez. Now that I think about it,
I got a few pairs.
They are hood classics.
You've never had a pair ever?
I don't think so.
Oh, I had a few pairs.
Cortez to the southwest and the west coast are what the Air Force Ones are to you.
That's a fact. That's a good. Oh, let's clip that. Let's clip that.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. Yeah.
The black Cortez, the navy Cortez,
the nylon ones though.
Nylon and the brown ones. Those three right there, and the white.
The brown ones are fire.
The Forrest Gump colorway is an all-time classic too, though.
So
the white and red.
Forrest Gump was like the middle ground. Everybody could wear those.
Yeah, that's like not gang affiliated.
Yeah, black was black. The brown was really for the Mexicans, because like the brown pride, they wore those super heavy. And then the white with the black swoosh, those are supposed to be neutral as well. So,
that navy blue with the white check.
No.
That was the nylon pair.
Yeah.
There's a white pair with the black check. Those are neutral as well. So, it's just cultural differences, but at the same time, the culture will embrace both of them. And I think, again, that's what Kendrick said at one point. He's like, "I'm what the culture is feeling about you right now, Drake." And listen, I've been on record saying I personally need Drake to make as much music as possible.
Yeah,
because he keeps the clubs going, whether you like it or not. However, his non-club songs, he was feeling himself too much.
Yeah,
and it may have been a lack of competition. It clearly was a lack of focus and a lack of strategy. So I expect the next 5 years to be Drake's best music ever. Right, and then he'll be out of here because he'll be in his early 40s, and I don't see him wanting to do that. You know what I'm saying? So. What's the podcast? Episode 254. Meet the podcast.
Is it time to go over to the dark side?
Oh, the dark side. Yes.
Yeah. Free episode is over, y'all. We'll see y'all on Patreon. We got a lot of shit to talk about. All right, sign up for Patreon, man. Stop playing.
For sure. We're out. Peace.
Peace.